I didn't read through my summary after I wrote it, so you're gonna have to like self-correct it if there's something written that's wrong.
Why don't you just do it right now?
No, I refuse.
Why?
I refuse.
That's the most ridiculous editing strategy I've ever heard.
I don't want to.
Vow, view, vow, view, vow, view, vow, view, vow to view, vow, 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 vow to view,
vow to view each other's movies, even though we don't always like them, but it's okay because we love each other and movies too.
Hey everyone, welcome to Vow to View, a Doof Media podcast all about marriage and the things we make each other watch. My name is Elyse Daly.
And I am Scott Daly.
And together,
we are the Dailies.
The Dailies. Why did you change that from a...
Sometimes you just gotta mix it up.
That's what I usually mix it up. You don't ever mix it up, though.
I'm in a mix it up kind of mood today.
Oh, why?
Let's do the movie part first and the Bachelor part last.
Why are you in a mix it up mood?
I don't know. I just sat down in front of this mic and I decided it's gonna mix it up.
How very unlike you.
This is the podcast weekly where my wife, Elyse...
Do you want me to do this part then? For mixing it up?
I want to see how I was mixing letters in it.
You're mixing letters on it?
This is our podcast weekly. Is it a weekly podcast?
Ah, you're just messing up.
Yeah, if you had let me continue the bit, you would have...
You were messing up.
Intentionally.
Okay.
But I was...
I'm going to eat my cookie dough.
See, I was doing a bit, and then you interrupted the bit, and you ruined it.
I killed the bit.
You killed it. You just
killed
killed
the
it, and then you kicked it while it was dead several times.
I tend to beat the dead horse.
You do.
I do.
The dead bit. This is the show where each and every week, Elyse and I make each other watch movies tied loosely around a theme of our choice. And then we talk about the movie and a marriage and the things we learned. And maybe, just maybe, the tenuous connections between the two movies that were picked. This week we are completing our
cereal party
theme.
By actually eating cereal.
Last week we did Elise's pick, Swan Princess. This week,
adult cereal party style.
Adult cereal party style?
With wine.
Do you drink wine with your cereal?
No.
I'm
just saying it was like a different party. It was like a wine party. Woo, adult.
I don't understand at all.
You usually don't. It's fine.
This week it's my pick, and my pick is The Land Before Time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about that movie and why it's important to me. Mm-hmm. But first, got a little stuff to do in the meantime.
Got a little bit of our favorite show going down. Got a new episode this week.
Okay, we're recording this the day before, and we haven't actually watched The Bachelor yet, but we're going to splice in the Bachelor part right here.
And so now Scott's favorite part of the show, The Bachelorette.
So, Elyse.
Yes. I'm going to start out by saying hello.
Hello.
To...
Who?
Our new listener.
We have
who's
a new
only
listener?
Listening to this because of the Bachelorette segment. And I told her, she asked if I could do this. So if she's listening, then hooray. Lauren hears that we're saying, hey, Lauren, we're so glad that you're listening to our Bachelorette segment. And if not, oh, well.
Is Lauren going to turn off the show as soon as the segment's over?
I don't know.
Lauren,
if she
don't
does,
do that.
at least get through Rosies and Thornies.
Yeah.
Rosies and Thornies is the best part.
Elyse, last week was a recap episode for some reason. Did that happen again?
No, and you know how I knew that it was not going to happen again? Because all of Bachelor Nation hated that it was a recap show, so Hannah had to actually release a statement on her Instagram account saying, guys, I know you're all upset, but there's going to be no recaps tonight, which is always a lie because they recap the episode at the very beginning anyway, so you know exactly what's going to happen anyways. Yeah. But yeah, there was no like hour-long recap of the whole season so far, so that was good.
So like the rest of this season, this episode was all about
the dates.
Luke P. and who I lovingly call bullshit born again.
Yes.
Born again bullshitter.
Yes. We're going to go through the dates though, because we have to talk about the first date before we talk about him, because his whole issue was with the first date.
All right, Latvia. What happens in Latvia?
There are 2 one-on-ones, one group date. We start with the first one-on-one date with Garrett. He's the pro golfer from Alabama, so they have like similar accents. And they're just, strolling through the forest and, oh, stop. What's that? Oh, look, 2 people jumping out. They're bungee jumping. What? They're naked? We should go bungee jumping. Naked. So yeah, they go bungee jumping naked.
They're not naked. They're wearing underwear.
She is wearing underwear.
She takes her bra
I
off,
know
though.
that she's wearing underwear because she also released that on her Instagram. Do we know that he's wearing underwear?
He's probably wearing underwear.
I mean, they were wearing kilts earlier with no underwear, so who's to say
I'm not
he
sure
wasn't?
if she's gonna be comfortable with a dude just like hanging dong in front of her. Like, and I don't know if he's gonna be comfortable because it looked pretty chilly.
I mean, those braces,
Shrinkage.
they go right up,
yeah. Like,
so it'd probably do some rubbing. I mean, I don't know, but
I
would
never gone
imagine.
bungee jumping, but yeah, those the things you're in when you're like rock climbing, and you slip or fall, and your full weight rests on that.
Yeah,
thing.
and then the
that
skin
hurts
pulling
the crotchal region.
If you imagine the skin just being pulled. I mean, we watched that show earlier, Pen 15, about like her wearing a thong and her friend like pulling it 2 feet out of her pants, and I was just like cringing.
Yeah.
I imagine it would be like that.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be very fun.
But I don't know. Anyways, so they had a wonderful date. Garrett was happy. He comes back. He's talking about it with everyone.
He's just coming back and he's
talking
happy about his date. Being successful.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure he's bragging to an extent, but don't they all whenever they come back from the one-on-one?
Yeah.
And everyone, you know, whether or not they were upset that she was walking around topless or not, they didn't vocalize it, but you know who did. On the group date.
Born again.
Yes, he decides to call her out for the boneheaded mistake that she made.
Yeah, he basically says this is like getting cheated on. Like this is the way I feel right now is like when the person you're seeing cheats on you. And like, I mean, on the one hand, I get that because like
you're in a relationship.
For a
while,
but you're all in a relationship together. But on the other hand, fuck all that noise, right? Like that's just no. Like
I mean, she had said it was not anything sexual. I mean, had he known what her and Peter did on that one-on-one day, he probably would have been a little perturbed too.
Straddling a guy in a sauna is way more sexual than bungee
in your little
jumping
bikini
in underwear.
Yeah. But you know, to each their own.
Yeah. The point is,
she had a good time in Latvia. That's the point.
He got really mad. In like it was like a weird way, and like so later in the show, she basically calls him out.
Yeah.
And what probably happened is like she's probably in shock by the whole, you know, you're in a conversation and like people say things to you that are like shocking to you.
Yeah.
And like some people are very good at like responding in the moment. Some people
I'm one of her like her. I kind of have to let it simmer for
and you're
a
like,
bit.
hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That was fucked up what you just said, and I didn't call you out on it when you said it. So come back here.
It's been bothering her, and it's understandable.
And he is like immediately like moonwalking it back. Like, like he's like, no, I didn't. The purpose was not to disrespect you or to say like, what, dude?
And I'm not ever going to control you. Yes, he's for sure going to try and control you.
Oh yeah.
You don't make decisions like that. This is not what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Like, let the girl live a little. Yeah. She's not having to justify herself to you because, like what she said, he's not her husband.
Yeah.
Nor is he her fiance. Nor
are they like...
Is he like officially... The only one that she is officially a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship with is Peter because he asked.
Well, that whole thing's weird, right? Like that, like the boyfriend-girlfriend, like she's my girlfriend. I know she's your girlfriend too. And I'm not saying that like there aren't relationships out there that can work with like I'm not saying monogamy is the only way to do relationships, but it is very clear, at least in the context
it's the only way
of this
I
show.
will do a relationship.
I'm not trying to skate anything by you. Don't worry, babe.
Okay.
In the context of the show, each one of these men clearly wants a monogamous relationship. So it's a little weird. It's a little weird.
You know, the only reason that I have ever read Reality Steve for this season is because I wanted to know Luke's fate. So he's the only person I know. I know if he ends up with her. I know if he leaves. He
didn't go home this week, and I'm really pissed off about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I don't like assuming, but they have to have told her it can't. It has to be on a 2-on-1.
There's the thing. It's like she has said I know that there's good inside of you. But just because you know that there's good inside of someone doesn't mean that that's the person that you should end up with.
Yeah. He's not fucking Darth Vader.
You
don't have to
shouldn't
save him.
continue to give someone that many chances. And she said, it's so hard with you. And if it's so hard with him and it's so easy with other people, then that has to tell you something, especially with the amount of difficulty that he has had with people in the house. It's hard with everybody. It's hard with her. It's hard with the other guys. So it's going to be difficult.
And I am not saying that there would be no drama if he wasn't on the show. Drama is the show.
Yeah, they would find somebody else.
They would find something else. But all of the drama, all of the everything.
It's your fault, bro.
Every 3 in a row.
Trace.
In a row, bro.
They should just start calling him Trace.
Yeah.
Then they'd have to start calling him Quad.
Every pivot of conflict in this
Hex.
in the what?
Sept.
What are you talking about?
I went to different languages. I started with Trace and then I just started going Greek and Latin.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
The point is, there's no reason for him to be on the show anymore, except that the only way you can send the villain home in these shows now is on the 2-on-1 date. So that's probably going to happen next week. There's
there was
a
a season where the villain was never sent home, and the villain was who was chosen.
What was that?
That was Jake's season. He was a
know who that
pilot.
is.
He was from Dallas. We forgot about him.
Did I watch that?
No, this was when I was in college. I think I was in college. Who was it that he chose? Vivian something. Started with a V. Everyone hated her.
I don't think that matters.
Because it was her or Tenley, and everybody loved Tenley. Tenley was so pretty. Tenley was so sweet. I love Tenley.
Is that all we had to talk about this week?
Tenley?
No, Bachelor-wise.
Luke's around for another week, guys.
Yay. Tomorrow.
Shot for every time you see Luke on screen next week. That's what we're going to have to do. Get drunk with The Bachelor.
I did my Luke is going home dance. And he didn't. And you're sitting there
told
watching
you.
me do my dance.
I told you during
this
this episode, I was like, Scott.
You were sitting there watching me do my dance.
He doesn't go home.
And you
I said, Scott, no, he doesn't go home.
I didn't believe you.
Not this episode. This is not his time.
I let the show fool me. I'm not happy about it. So that's that.
I tried to tell you.
That's that. Goodbye forever. Bachelor. I've quit now. I've officially quit the show.
What are we going to do when we're in Hawaii?
What do you mean?
How are we going to watch it when we're in Hawaii?
We're not going to watch it when we're in Hawaii.
Yeah, we are. We got to watch it.
If you make me spend 2 hours of my Hawaiian vacation watching this bullshit,
what if
I will
it rains?
never forgive
If
you.
it rains, can we watch it?
I will walk in the rain.
If I get up early and you're asleep, can I watch it? The time difference,
I'm not sure you understand how the time zones work. It's 5-hour difference.
Yeah.
The show comes on at 7.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about getting up early?
I mean, like after it's aired. So like Wednesday. Let's say I wake up early. Can I watch the show without you?
Yeah, go for it. I'm going to stop you. Please, Elyse, if you want to watch a show without me forever, you can do that.
That's not allowed.
All right.
Love is pain.
Until next time, that's
you
all
see,
for
you
The
need
Bachelorette.
to treat this show. You need to treat this show like Hannah's treating Luke. There is good in the show.
No.
There is some good.
Yeah.
You just got to stick with
Hannah, you should have ditched this show a long time ago.
No.
And that is the end of the segment. All right, Elyse, it's time for Rosie's.
Rosies and Thornies.
And
it's the Rosies and Thornies show.
Thorny.
I'm the Rosie, you're the Thorny.
Trademark Doof Media 2019. Technically, the name of our company is not Doof Media, so trademark
not?
Daily Planet Productions 2019.
Why is it not Doof Media?
Because when we founded the company, we were not called Doof Media.
So like all of the paperwork still says the Daily Planet?
Yes, it does.
What does it cost in order to switch it over to the correct name?
I have no idea.
This is the voice you were talking in the whole car ride home from breakfast this morning, and I did not understand why.
I don't know. Can we do the show, though?
Yeah, okay. So my thorn this week is Scott.
We have to tell what the section is about first.
Rosies and Thornies is when I get to complain about Scott and then also share some wonderful things that I've been doing over the summer. And then Scott complains about me, and then he shares about how he's trying to keep up with my summer enthusiasm.
In not mean to me terms, this section is basically about us talking about the good things and the bad things that happened to this week.
I didn't remember what it was supposed to
And
say.
so-
You didn't write that part in the script, so I never know what to say.
I figure you understand what the section is since you came up
It's
with
the
it.
highs and the lows,
Yeah.
the goods and the bads.
It allows you to remember the goods, but don't just,
Goods.
you
We
know,
make everything plural in this section.
you know,
It's the goods, the bads, the happies, the lows.
I was listening to the show last week.
Yeah.
I was listening to the show last week, as I do sometimes.
As yous do's.
And I couldn't help but notice
Yes.
I've identified what the show is.
What is it?
The show is Scott starts to say a sentence
And Elyse
and
interrupts
Elyse
it.
interrupts it
I steal the show.
constantly.
I steal it. It's mine.
And I don't notice that as much when we're recording. But man, when you listen back to it, wow. Wow. Anyway, that's not my thorn.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
You want to
I'll
go
go
first?
first.
Okay.
My thorn for the week is I'm sleepy.
Oh, you changed it. You are sleepy.
Yeah, no, so it's the last it's been a busy week for me. It's been a busy week at work. It's been a busy week at work numero 2. Just a lot going on, and I've just been really tired all week. Like even weekend we slept in today to like 9:30.
I know.
And
I wanted to do
I
that.
still feel tired. I still
You
feel tired.
do?
Yeah, I'm going to be up late tonight doing more work. We got book club tomorrow. So the thing is, we're going on vacation. We're going on vacation in 2 weeks, but I'm also out of town next week. So like I have stuff to do every single night. Like I have no nights off. So
It's true.
it's just left me very tired, and I'm looking forward to not being tired anymore. Hawaii, please come so I can be not tired.
But
That's
then
my
we
thorn.
have that jet lag.
I don't care.
Got that 5-hour time difference. It's
care.
going to make us tired for a bit. But then we're going to power through.
I don't care.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry
Anyway.
you're sleepy.
It's okay.
But you had a lovely nap on Friday.
I did. Oh my god, I
You
needed
had a
that
great
so
nap.
much. It was. I don't take naps. I don't like naps.
Nope.
I don't
Scott does
do
not
well
like
with naps. I have a very hard time quieting my brain enough
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the day to actually fall asleep. So I end up just lying there and like
Mm-hmm.
think of all the things I could be doing right now. I could be reading something. I could be writing something. I could be doing something. Why am I not doing something? What am I doing? Why am I? And then I can't do it. So
Well, I helped.
you did. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
At least speaking of bad things,
Yeah.
what's your thorn?
So all of my thorns at this point in time are just like total first world
This is
problems.
summer-
Like
this is
what's the bad news in Elise's summertime? She's just around the house not doing much, but she's been watching her shows. She's been rewatching a show that she didn't actually finish whenever it was on air because like, I don't know why. I just didn't end up finishing it, despite my dog's namesake being the show. So Downton Abbey is coming out with a movie in September. Love me some Downton. Love me some Lady Mary. Lady Mary Crawley, Lady Edith. Such a troublesome sister relationship. But I went back. I rewatched all 6 seasons. They're all on Prime. And now I'm done. And the summer is not over. Now what? What do I fill my time with? I've been reading. I've read 13 books already. I finished a show. I mean, I've been doing other things.
The quintessence of summer, Elyse, is I finished a television show. It's the worst thing that happened.
Well, now what?
I don't know. Watch another show.
Well, what do I watch?
There's
I want to watch Battlestar, but I don't know if you'll let me because
there are infinity.
can I watch Battlestar
shows.
without you?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
There are infinity shows.
Problem solved. No more thorns.
Just cut that thorn right off.
No more thorns.
So why don't you tell me about A Rose then? If that was the worst thing that happened to you this week,
Oh.
what is the best?
Got my facial a couple weeks back. If you guys don't remember when I won my free facial, but I didn't really like win my facial. It wasn't, well, I won it, but it wasn't really free because I had to pay $10 for my 2 raffle tickets. But $10 for a facial is pretty good. So I got my facial. It was nice and smooth. It has, caused some
Yeah, do facials
some
cause breakout?
blemishes.
Is that what they do? Do they cause that?
It might bring some things up to the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like this podcast, bringing stuff to the surface.
Even though I've had some extractions. They had some extractions.
just totally ignored me on that.
It's bringing some things up to the surface. Yeah, I got it. I just glossed over it. You know, that's the whole thing. I interrupt you and don't pay attention to you. That's the show.
That's what I mean by bringing stuff to the surface.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But that was
me,
great.
Tell me
It was
about your facial.
nice.
Was it good?
Oh, it was
Loved it.
lovely. The chair, it's just like they lay you back on, like one of those spa chairs or whatever, and it's heated and it's plush and it's nice.
What
And
do
they
you
do
need a
the
heated
facial
chair for?
because you're laying down. They make you get in like a little towel because the facial is not just your face. Your face starts.
Who would have? What
Your
about that word
face-
would have led you to believe that a facial is just about a face?
It's your décolletage.
I'm sorry. What?
Your décolletage.
I'm sorry. What?
Your chest starts technically right here and then goes all the way up. I don't want to say that on air.
Boobs.
Yes, the part
The nipples.
yes, it starts there and goes up. That's what they technically say is the beginning of your face. So that's technically
wait,
when
the
you
beginning of your
wash.
face?
No, not the beginning of your
The beginning of your face.
No,
your
it's
face-
not your face.
Ladies
but
and gentlemen, the face starts at your nipples. That is what
no,
we've
they
learned
say
here
the
today.
skin that you treat with like your moisturizers and your serums and your face wash and all of that, you should start from there and go up. So it should
Start at-
include
start
all
at
of
the
your
titty.
neck, the front of the neck, and the back of the neck. People should not be forgetting that the back of your neck is actually where you will see aging first because of the sun. And you don't put sunscreen, you don't put moisturizer, so it gets really wrinkly first. Things women have to care about.
You know, I just full disclosure.
Do you want me to look like Jennifer Aniston when I'm her age?
I mean, that'd be nice.
Exactly. So you want me to have my décolletage and the back of my neck taken care of.
I can't believe that's actually. What does that word mean? I need to look it up. I don't know how to spell it at all.
Décolletage. A low neckline on a woman's dress or top. It's this area.
Thank you for visual aids.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Would you like me to spell it for you? Just
No.
so that all the viewers
Sure,
know
spell
too,
it.
so they can look it up. DECOLLETAGE. Décolletage.
Starts at the titties, works its way up.
Anyways, what's here, Rosie? Learning about what this is.
You know what? The best moment of my week was
What?
last night. So
Yeah.
we have a book club on Monday. So
Yes,
I've
you
been
do.
pretty frantically trying to finish this book because I had some troubles with this book. Some troubles.
Right here in River City.
Okay. But I was finishing it up yesterday, Saturday night,
Yeah.
and it was a beautiful day out. We had
It was a
gone.
nice-
We'd gone and sat on a patio and had a nice dinner together.
Oh, yes. It was a lovely dinner.
And then we
Jose.
came home, and it was really nice out. And Elyse had recently. Was this your rose? earlier?
It was my thorn a couple weeks ago because as we were sprucing that area up is when the sun exposure just inflamed my neck, if you recall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, Elyse put in a lot of work to make a certain area of our backyard patio look nice. She got a bunch of plants and potted a bunch of nice plants there and cleaned up some of the weeds and laid some more volcanic rocks. Some really great work. It's been fantastic. But it had been like too hot to like hang out there.
Yeah, it's
but it
pretty
was
hot.
just really cool last night for some reason. And so I read the last 75 pages of my book, hanging out in my backyard in a chair. The dogs annoyingly at our feet, but it was just really nice.
And
I love reading outside, but we live in Texas, and it's very hard to do that most of the year.
I read a book outside too.
You did
I read Naturally Tan.
by
Tan
French,
France.
one of the Queer Eye guys.
Yeah.
Which is why she's all about this skincare stuff right now, because she just read that book
No, I'm all about skincare all the time.
all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Skincare is my middle name.
But yeah, that was after a very hectic, busy week, and I'm reading a book for book club. It's still technically working. Technically, it was just really nice to have a real relaxing moment, and it allowed me to finally finish the book. Like I really was just able to get into a zone.
Good.
And
I'm
yeah,
glad.
so I really like that. So that is my rose for the week,
Good.
and now I have to prep for the book, which is
Next week's thorn. Coming at ya.
no.
No? Okay.
All right, that is Rosies and Thornies.
Yes, Roses and Thornies.
Let's move on.
Yes, the unedited version of the Land Before Time summary, written by Elyse, read by Scott.
Land Before Time came out in 1988.
Yes, it's older than I.
I was 3 years old.
Did you see it when you were 3?
I don't know.
We'll get into all this later. Please continue.
Littlefoot's mom is killed by a sharp tooth because he goes off to play with Sarah, despite them both being warned not to play with each other. There is an earthquake that ends up separating all of the dinosaur children from their parents. Littlefoot decides the best thing to do is try and find the Great Valley and hope that his grandparents make it there too. Along the way, he meets Ducky, Petrie, and Spike. His new friends, along with the always better than everyone else, Sarah, make their way to the Great Valley. After a couple close calls with the sharp tooth, the children all make it to the Great Valley. Again, find their parents or grandparents and live happily ever after until The Land Before Time 2.
Yes, that's the one that I have seen from the franchise multiple times. Rarely saw this Land Before Time, but The Land Before Time 2. The little children go out on a journey in order to save Grandfather Dinosaur. Pretty sure Grandfather Dinosaur. Does he die in it? I don't remember.
Can we talk about this movie before?
Yes, we can talk about this
sequel?
movie. Yes, we can talk about this one too. So, The Land Before Time. So, Scott, tell me about why you chose this movie.
So this movie,
do you want to hold your Littlefoot? He's right behind you. We have to bring him into this conversation if we're talking about him. I mean, it's like we're talking about him behind his back. He can see us. Mm-hmm. He could probably read our lips, so he knows that we're saying his name and talking about him.
Yeah, so this movie was like...
Don't even acknowledge what I said.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I wanted you to hold him.
I'm not going to pull him out of the box.
Okay.
I had a stuffed animal when I was a kid. It was a stuffed Littlefoot dinosaur, and I slept with that thing for, I don't know, 8, 9 years, till I was probably 9 or 10 years old.
I love stuffed animals.
It was just my thing I slept with. Like, he used to have like a thing in his neck that would keep his neck up straight, but I like hugged him around the neck so far, his neck just like goes to the side. Doesn't work anymore. But see, I mean, I think it would be absolutely fair to say this movie was pretty hugely influential in my childhood. I watched it many times. Obviously, I loved Littlefoot. That's why I got a Littlefoot stuffed animal. And
that's a big Littlefoot stuffed animal too.
Yeah. It was the size of a baby.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I interrupted again.
I'm glad at least you're realizing it now. I'm good.
Oh, I know I do it all the time. Yes, please do continue.
Yeah, I mean, I think like when I think of like, this is the first movie that popped in my head when you said cartoons for kids, just because like this is, and I have not seen this movie in probably 20 plus years. I have not, like there's a lot of movies that I watched a lot when I was a kid that I go back to and watch all the time. Ghostbusters, the Ninja Turtles movie. This one I did not. And so this was the first time I'd seen this movie in decades. And it's kind of amazing how your brain works, where you like, if you had asked me before we watched this yesterday, like to map out the plot of the movie, I'm not sure I would have been able to, but it just all comes back to you. It's like, as soon as I saw this one scene, I know exactly what's going to happen in the next scene, etc., etc. So, yeah, I mean, this was definitely, I mean, this movie got me into dinosaurs. This movie taught me about death, because this is a dark fucking film. It's directed by Don.
It's pretty in there.
It's directed by Don Bluth, produced by Steven Spielberg and George Lucas.
Your boys.
And it is...
And screenwritten partially by Stephen King.
No.
Yeah. It was all your boys.
It was not.
Yeah, it was.
Stop making stuff up. I wish. But
you should go check it on IMDb.
It's not. I know for a fact it's
Are
not.
you sure?
So yeah, I mean, like, it is, yeah, like Elyse said, it's a story. Littlefoot it was called a brontosaurus then.
A long neck.
But I can't follow dinosaurs, because for a while there was a brontosaurus, and then we decided brontosaurus is not a distinct species and it's actually just brachiosaurus. But now I feel like they've gone back. What are you doing?
I used to try and make a long neck with my hand, and then I was like, oh my gosh, the middle finger's the neck. And then I was like, I can't do that. I'm flipping everyone off. But I used to try and do that with my hand and make little dinosaurs. You know? Don't you see it?
I guess
the long neck right there. No?
I wish I could go back in time and see Elyse as a little kid.
Oh my gosh, I was the best.
The more I learned about you. So, Elyse.
Yes.
Before we talk about this movie in a little more detail, what did you think of it? Had you seen this before? And what did you think of it?
So, yes, I'd seen this before, but for some reason, like, what was it? 3 Men and a Little Lady from a long time ago. The first movie in the series is not what I really watched a lot of. We watched Land Before Time too. So this movie, while I knew, Littlefoot's mom died and the whole premise of the story of getting to the Great Valley, I did not have as clear of a recollection of the plot of this movie as you did. And, there are some pretty in-your-face things.
Yeah,
with I guess with the sharp tooth.
I guess that's one of the things I want to talk about first. I mean, I feel like this was a thing specific to the 70s and 80s that maybe we don't do as much. I mean, this is a very frank exploration of death and pursuing hope after tragedy type of movie in a way that, like, my 30-something-year-old brain is like, can kids handle this? And of course I did. Like, I think probably the first time I saw it, I didn't quite understand what it means when he's literally like watching his mother die. But as I got older and continued to watch it, I definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
So
the shadow.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He sees his mom. And like moments like that are like ingrained in my brain. Like I didn't even realize it because I haven't thought about this movie in so long. But the second I saw the wall where the shadow reflects on, I knew exactly what was going to happen. And your heart just breaks. Your heart just absolutely breaks. This is some heavy stuff. This is not. And I was thinking about like how much more older movies like dealt with death in this kind of frank way that I don't think we do as much in our kids' cartoons anymore. Like, I mean, Bambi's mom like dies, and like the beginning of Bambi is him dealing with the loss of his mother. And I guess you could argue movies like Finding Nemo dealt with the death of his mother. But like this,
but you never really saw.
Yeah, I mean, like this is the same Bambi. You never technically see it either. Like, but this movie, he is like in Finding Nemo. Like the thing happens, the mother is killed kind of off screen, and the movie deals with the consequences of that action. This movie also deals with the consequences of death, but you see the death. We watch her die. We watch Littlefoot's mother pass away.
It reminds me of The Lion King.
Yeah,
this movie, like that whole conversation that
maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe little kids' movies always have frankly dealt with death, and it's just because Lion King. I mean, that messed me up too.
But
I was older.
Yeah, and that again was in like what I would classify as like our childhood sort of time. And I'll be very interested to see how when they do the live action, if they're
going to do it the same way.
Yeah. Because I mean, I do think that there are certain life lessons that nowadays people do not include as much into their children's movies as far as like death goes. And I think that's because they want to shelter children so much.
Yeah.
And they don't have it in movies. And so we think, if they're never getting it, they're never learning about it. But, the news, they get it if they even, slightly hear it even on the TV or in conversation with their parents. But then when they hear it like that, it's not, I think that it's in like those offside conversations to where they don't really have a conversation with a parent that lets them process and deal with it. Where when they're watching it in a movie like this, and then it's afterwards like, well, what happened to his mom?
Right.
Like there's that sort of conversation, like the Avengers thing is just popping in my mind about when.
Careful. Spoilers.
No, at the end, not Infinity War. No, it's Infinity.
Not
Infinity
Endgame.
War.
Okay.
Yeah, in Infinity War, when we went to go see Endgame, and they had at the draft house, there was that like montage of everyone's reactions to what happened in Infinity War.
Oh yeah.
And then the little girl was like, "Well, what happened to them?
Yeah.
How are they going?" Like it's having moments like that in a movie to where then the kids are asking questions, and then you're able to talk about it. And so,
I would much rather a kid deal with the idea of mortality via storytelling than via watching the news.
Oh,
like 100%.
yeah.
Because like even the news, like it's so abstract. Like it's not personalized. It's random people that you didn't know. Movies are created to trigger empathy. So you have to wrestle with the real idea that, hey, this kid's mom just died and he's alone now, and he has to find a way to not only survive but to carry on and get himself to safety and find family elsewhere. I mean, I think that's like every one of the kid dinosaurs in this movie is someone who's lost family. They mostly get reunited in the end, but at the moment they bond, they are alone. They have lost their families. They are alone, and they find strength in each other. And there's a message here that I don't think Kid Scott ever picked up on, which is this idea of that the movie, like, it's very kind of heavy-handed with it, but I was a dumb kid. This idea of like interspecies coexistence, right? That like the long necks hang out with the long necks, the three horns hang out with the three horns, the big mouths, the flyers, everyone, you hang out in your own I want to say tribe, but that's not right. In your own herd, thank you. In your own herd, you don't intermix with the other herds, you don't talk to them, you don't you do your thing and they do their thing, and you don't do that. And this movie kind of tosses that out and says, no, actually you find strength joined together rather than separating out. And it's a good message. It's a good message
of diversity.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the power and the value of diversity. Each and every one of these characters only survives to make it to the Great Valley through each other. And if they had continued this whole three horns don't talk to long necks thing, it wouldn't have been that way. And the thing that I like about it is through children that this diversity is encouraged and created, because they show very specifically here that Sarah learns that she's not supposed to hang out with Littlefoot through her father, who tells her, you can't, no, you're not supposed to do that. That's not you. And so it's the messages that were passed on to her family only through difficulty. We learn to eschew those messages for community, and that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. That's a lot. That's a heavy, important, valuable, wonderful theme in this kids movie about dinosaurs playing.
And then in the sequels, they continue to play with each other, and like those friendships, they survive, which is important too. Like once you get back with the others.
I've never seen. I think the only
We're
one
gonna have to watch the second one.
So
you'll cry too.
So the first movie was a Don Bluth movie. I don't think any of the movies after that were Don Bluth movies. The first one came out in 1988. The sequel did not come out for 6 more years. It was 6 years later, and then they started pumping these things out, right? So the first one came out. It was a movie that did pretty well, and then after that, it's like I think they went up to like 10 before they're done, right?
Oh, I don't remember. I'm just trying to look right now.
Land Before Time 10, The Great Long Neck Migration, came out in 2003. So yeah, they were pumping these things out like crazy. But I mean, what do you think? Like, is this a movie? If we were to have kids one day, is this a movie you'd show to?
Oh yeah.
Kids? I wonder about that. I've my parents. We've talked about this on the show before. My parents have always been like the kind that are just like, they weren't really that restrictive in what they watched or what they had me watch. And obviously, this is a kids movie.
Yeah, it's rated G.
Yeah. But
G for go for it.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it's an important one for kids to be able to watch, and I don't think that it would be an off the table sort of movie.
You know what else? It's just funny. I like Ducky.
It's cute. Ducky's
Ducky.
precious.
Nope. And Petrie.
She's kind of annoying.
The pterodactyl
Petrie's
who can't
my favorite.
fly. Ducky, the duckbill platypus. Spike, the big old eater that just keeps eating. And Elyse has left the room now because the dog is barking. So Elyse just leaves the room because whenever the dog wants to be let out, she just leaves, even though we're in the middle of recording a podcast and I have nothing to say anymore.
I cleaned the carpet, and so I really don't want him to have an accident on the carpet.
She's not gonna. She doesn't
You don't
probably
know
even
that.
have to go to the bathroom. She probably just wants to go outside. You don't have to listen to her. You can say, Maggie, 15 minutes.
She's a dog. She won't understand.
Dog's got you whipped. We are the masters. We decide when she goes outside.
Okay, and there's also such a thing as training, where when she gets to the back door and she's learned that when she goes to the back door and she barks, I will let her out. And that's a good thing for her to know, so that then when she needs to go to the bathroom, she can go.
I agree, but like
and if I teach her, and if I don't let her out when she goes and she barks, then she's going to not remember that if I go to the door and I bark and I get out, she's going to think if I go to the door and I bark, nothing happens. And then she doesn't do that anymore.
So you think
what?
That the dog is so dumb that if the one time she barks and is not immediately let out, she's just going to forget all about that.
It's not going to be one time. It's going to be consistently.
It's not consistently. It's not. It's
going to happen.
It's not.
But the Land Before Time.
The Land Before Time.
Yeah, let's go back to the Land Before Time.
That's Sharptooth.
Okay, so let's go over these 5 characters first of all. Okay. Littlefoot was your favorite.
Oh yeah. See, that's like I'm the protagonist, the leader, the
Scott's
main guy,
yeah.
the Superman of the group it was always my favorite.
Who you
character.
pick?
Always my favorite character.
I liked Petrie the most. Sarah, not really my cup of tea. Littlefoot, he was okay. Petrie was good. Ducky's even kind of annoying, to be quite honest.
Ducky's adorable.
I mean, she's cute, but
she's got those big old lashes.
You know when you're a broken record because you just repeat yourself all the time. I mean, it gets to a point where it's going to be annoying.
You are a Spike tail. I will call you Spike. But Spike.
But she was cute.
Spike doesn't talk.
No.
So the most beautiful...
There's probably something the matter with Spike.
The most beautiful thing about Spike to me...
Yes.
At the end of the movie, everyone is reunited with their family. Littlefoot finds his grandparents. Sarah finds her father. Petrie finds his mother and the rest of his flock.
Yeah.
Ducky finds her parents and her siblings. And Ducky introduces Spike as your new brother. And I like that because like
cute.
Spike is the only one. Spike hatches alone, right? We never see his we never see his mom and dad. Presumably they're dead. And like just this idea of, oh look, his new adopted kid, and the parents are just like, okay, and they just smile and are all happy. I think that's adorable.
I think it was precious.
A lot of good messages in this movie.
There are some good themes in
messages.
This. Yeah, it's true.
You just gotta go west.
Manifest Destiny.
Past the... That's not... No. Manifest Destiny was not good.
Oh, yeah. That's
Manifest Destiny resulted in us killing a lot of people.
So, here's the deal, though. And I brought this up. The mom said you just follow the bright circle in the sky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Except the bright circle in the sky moves, Scott.
Yeah.
The bright circle in the sky moves during the day.
Yeah, but
so technically...
it always goes the same way, right? It is always going to the west. It is always going from east to west.
So are they starting but then
so if
they wake up and they're like east, so they start walking and then they're like, oh,
and they gotta turn around.
So then they go back to where they started.
Now I'm sorry, the dinosaurs, the speaking dinosaurs following the path of the sun,
they become extinct eventually.
Unrealistic. Yeah, I mean that's the weird thing about this is like the movie kind of set this up as the extinction event, right? Like the plants are dying, the earth's quaking. I mean, I don't know if I feel like in 88 we were pretty sure we were like meteor, but I don't know if we're like almost 100% sure now. There's a meteor. I almost said meat eater.
Meat eater.
There's the Sharptooth. That's why the dinosaurs.
The Sharptooth. And then let's talk about the Sharptooth too. Are we going to talk about the Sharptooth?
It's scary.
Okay, so the Sharptooth is scary.
It's scary. The red-eyed Sharptooth.
Yeah, the one-eyed Sharptooth at the beginning of the movie.
I think that was just like an animation mistake.
You think that? You think
it's
so?
The same Sharptooth.
Okay, well, if it has to be different Sharptooths.
Sharp teeths.
Sharptooth
is the T-Rex.
The T-Rex has to be. Yes, we're getting into another Taiwan discussion here.
I'm
not going to do it.
I don't know why you.
I was going to say I would go into it, but Scott was like, "No, don't go into the Thai food discussion." Anyways, nope, we're not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Taiwan, Thailand, they're two different places.
So, what do you call Taiwan food?
Taiwanese. We had this discussion already.
I don't think that's true. Anyways, so I forgot
this. Call it Chinese.
Sharp teeth. The sharp teeth.
Yes.
So the second time we saw a sharp tooth, it was at the bottom. And this one was supposed to be the same sharp tooth because it had fallen into the cracks 2 eyes. Magically, the eye was fixed.
I'm telling
and
you.
different colors.
Well,
Wasn't red that time again.
Look, the eye colors, like eye color and stuff changes it. Like this this is hand drawn animation, Elyse.
Are you there to defend
hard.
it now?
Yes, it is.
Have you ever done it before?
I have not. But
Exactly.
I've gone to Disney World and
you have,
gone to
have
the
you?
animation studio.
Have
at Disney,
you now?
And I've seen how
So just
hard
because
it
you've
is.
seen it, you know how hard it is.
Yes.
Okay.
You draw one picture and then you draw another picture and it's moved a little bit and then you just play all the pictures and see at
like a flip
24
book.
frames per second. Yeah. It's like a flip book and it's hard.
like a what book?
Do you want me to change my thorn to just be Elyse? Is that what you want?
I thought that was just understood.
All right, Elyse.
Like you share other thorns, but everyone knows that I'm really your thorn.
I mean, like
usually.
underneath it all, like the assumed thorn and rose of every week is each other.
Is me.
Yeah, we can't do that though. But we're both each other's roses and thorns.
Of course, always and forever. Love you, boo.
So, why did you say that?
What?
You just said that like in the most like stereotypical basic white girl mode ever.
Isn't that what I am?
Love you, boo.
Love you, boo.
Elyse.
Yes. So,
relationships.
Tell me, Scott, what did you learn about relationships in this movie?
I love my mommy very much, and I'm very glad my mommy didn't die when I was a little baby.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't your fault. She did.
I wonder what happened to Mr. Foot.
Ah, that's a good question. Another sharp tooth, I'm sure.
Is his name Little Foot? Like he's little and he is of the feet? Or is his just do dinosaurs not have last names?
This is a good question, Scott.
It's the most important question.
Because then you're thinking about, so it's the last name. Are all of them, Foot is the grandfather Foot, grandmother Foot, mother Foot. Was the dad's named Biggerfoot?
What happens?
And the mom was Bigfoot.
And look, I gotta say, Mom, I don't want to be critical. I don't want to speak ill of the dead here. But naming your kid Littlefoot when you know this kid is gonna grow up and be a frickin' giant brontosaurus, like, I just feel like you're setting him up to be teased.
Says the man who wants to name his child.
What do I want to name my child? Have we talked about this on
Ian
the
Patrick
podcast?
Daly.
Yeah, I want to name my child Ian Patrick Daly because then he can write his initials down as IP Daly. And look.
And you just said that about the mother. And then you want to do that?
Yeah.
So it's a different thing if it's like, I have a bug bite on my arm.
But you're hitting the mic.
Well, I'm not intending to do that. So it's one thing if you do that and it's a girl. And then it's like, maybe eventually she'll change her name, like last name. And it's fine.
So are you telling me I could name a daughter Isabel?
But no.
Patricia Daly?
No, see, that's not good either because I feel like girls are just super catty and she would just get really ripped apart.
I will say one thing, though, in my defense.
Yes.
I think a son of mine is going to find IP Daily hilarious.
I think that's like a story you could say afterwards, and then you could be like, one day you could do this. We thought about it too late. Or you could just be like, your mother signed the birth certificate without me, and now you're this instead of Ian Patrick.
I think Ian Patrick's a good name, and I don't see a problem with it. And that's the tea.
But you're drinking coffee.
Look.
Relationships. Scott, we're talking about relationships.
Yeah.
You chased a bunny.
Your family's important. But no, I think, like, family and found family, right? Like, we have these things, like, we
talked about this with 3 Men and a Little Lady. These children's movies are teaching these lessons of it's okay in order to maybe not have the typical family dynamic and to create your own family with your friends. And I think that that's an important lesson to learn.
Yeah, I mean, some people are estranged from their family. Some people have bad relationships with mother, father, sisters, brothers. Life is hard and complicated, and we tend to place a lot of value on familial bonds, but it is not the only type of bond out there.
No.
And I love movies and stories that reinforce that idea that your found family can be just as important to you than any blood family ever could be.
It's true.
Especially when your blood family's a real jerk sometime. Psh. Jerks. I'm just
Are you
kidding.
talking about the movie or are you talking about your actual family?
I was talking about my actual family, but I was also just kidding. So I don't want any text messages from you guys angry at me. I was joking.
It's okay.
Except for you, Melissa. You know what you did.
What'd she do?
No, nothing. Elyse, can we compare and contrast these movies?
In
one movie,
both were animated.
Yeah, thank you.
Both had talking animals.
Yeah, in one movie, the talking animals that take place in the story trying to copy a Disney movie. That's the whole movie.
Both are not Disney movies.
True.
Now, this is important.
True.
That out of all of the movies that we watched when we were children, we watched movies that were not Disney movies, and they were solid cartoons. You know, like nowadays, how many cartoons are not Disney cartoons?
You know who was really good?
Don Bluth.
John Bluth.
Yeah, he was good.
Look at this. An American Tale.
Ah,
The Land
that was
Before Time.
awesome.
Look at the streak. An American Tale, Land Before Time, All Dogs Go to Heaven.
I loved All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Okay, then we get to the 90s, and Don did not have a good time.
He didn't?
Rockadoodle.
Yeah, we already discussed how Rockadoodle was not
Thumbelina.
good. I loved Thumbelina.
A Troll in Central Park. These movies did not do well.
Oh, I loved Thumbelina and Anastasia.
Yeah, he came back a little with Anastasia. Titan AE unfortunately did not do very well.
I don't even know what that is.
They're making a new Dragon Slayer movie.
The Secret of Nim?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a good career
in
his early days.
Well, you know, he used to work at Disney,
After 97.
Right? He used to work at Disney. He was an animator for Disney.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, I'm going to go out and do this my own way.
There's a story there. I can't remember what it is.
I'll have to look it up sometime. Heart, don't fail
I think he basically was just like,
Courage,
Disney isn't
desert
making good
me.
movies, and I want to make better movies.
Don't turn back now that we're here. People always say, and life is a road, and I want to keep going. Love is a river. I think I've sang these songs before, but they're just so good. Anyways, sorry. Don Bluth. What did Don Bluth teach you?
I'm just making sure when I open my mouth, you don't say another
I'm
line
asking
of
you
the
a
song.
question. So, yes. What did Don Bluth teach you?
He taught me to love animation.
Ah, that's a good thing.
I think animation is usually tossed aside as kids stuff, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, it just so happens that all these movies we were talking about that were animated are kids' movies. They absolutely are made for kids, but they're not just for kids. I think I enjoyed watching A Land Before Time. As a 33-year-old man, I enjoyed watching A Land Before Time. And yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia attached to it, for sure. But I think it's a
good movie.
It's a beautiful movie. The music was really good. I thought the animation was rough at times, but, you know, overall, really beautiful looking. I liked the character designs. I thought the cute dinosaurs were cute. The scary dinosaurs were scary.
Very scary.
It's a very muted movie color-wise because, like, it's specifically no greens. But that makes the Great Valley beautiful at the end.
You know, I was going to say, Don Bluth taught me it's okay to go out on your own. And with that being said, I'd like to announce that next week I'm going to have my own show.
This is news to me.
Yeah, I've dropped the Scotty half of it and just realized you guys. It's just me and you.
Let's be honest here, Elyse. This is episode number 64,
What?
and all you've ever wanted
65.
is this is 64.
No, it's 65.
This is 65. All you've ever wanted
Yes.
is just to be able to sit in front of a microphone unimpeded, uninterrupted, and just talk for
Now,
an
I
hour.
think that would be interesting, but I don't know what I would talk about for that length of time.
I'm sure you would find something. You hit the mic so many times. You keep hitting the mic.
I don't mean to. Is it making a noise or something?
Yes.
Oh, I can't hear it. It's not bothering me.
All right, Elyse, what are we doing next week?
Next week is an exciting week, Scott,
Why is
because
that?
it is going to be getting closer to our beach vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, we're going to do beach movies.
Yeah, this is going to be a weird one because we're going to be off the week in between.
Yeah,
'Cause
so
we'll be on
beach
vacation. We do
off,
beach 1,
beach.
off, and then beach number 2.
Yeah. So what's your beach movie?
So I'm going first, and my beach movie is a little movie called Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
That's already forgotten.
I think this is fitting because we are going to a Hawaii resort, and this takes place at a Hawaii resort. It's one of my favorite comedies of all time, and I can't believe you've never sat through it from beginning to end.
Yes,
so
we'll go into that, and I'll tell you exactly my relationship with it next week, but we've seen parts of this.
What is your beach movie?
My beach movie is a little 59 movie called Gidget.
I've never seen that movie.
I love Gidget.
All right, so next
Not
week.
the series. There's a TV series with Sally Field.
Not that.
Not that. This is the original Gidget movie.
All right. So next week we will be doing my movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Then we will be off, and then the week after that we will be doing Elise's movie Gidget. So there's plenty of time to watch Gidget.
You know what I hope?
What?
I really hope that we don't end up watching my movie in an airport.
Oh God, me too. Me too. We are going to be on a red eye on the way back.
Uh-huh.
All right, Elyse, that is all the time we have this week.
Sounds good.
If they like this podcast.
If you like this podcast, you can donate money. Give us all the monies. We're about to go on a trip. We won't use the money on our trip.
No, we will not. That is not what we use the money for.
What do we use the money for, Scott? We use the money for...
We use the money to help support the show. It costs money to host it. It costs money to rent these movies.
Yes.
It costs money to advertise. We just ran an ad on the website.
You ran an ad?
For We've Got Worm. We ran an ad, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Where'd you run that at?
I forget. It's
You didn't run
Matt
this past
handled it.
me.
It's not for our show.
Why don't I get any sort of votes on this?
Because it's not your show.
I build a brand. I am the brand.
Wow. Yeah, you can donate to our Patreon account. That's patreon.com/doofmedia.
I say that. I always say that.
You were doing
I was
it.
getting to it.
How much can they donate?
They can donate any amount that they want to. Last week I said you could match your Venmo, your latest Venmo purchase. This week I want you to think about how many cups of coffee did you go out and buy?
You've done this one before.
Times 10.
Oh my God. Well, for normal people, that would be like $20.
What else do
for
people
you,
buy?
that would be like $100.
Think about this. Do you have a dog?
Mm-hmm.
If you do, skip out a month of food.
Maybe don't feed it next week.
It'll be okay. Scott evidently doesn't like dogs, so who's to say? They're barking because they want food? Oh, you just teach them they don't need food one day. You know who needs something? Doof Media. Donate to Doof.
I can't believe that's the strategy you took. Just don't feed your animal.
Oh, you know.
Oh my
they
God.
can last a while.
We will be back next week. Send all your dog-related complaints to
no
Elyse,
animals were harmed in recording of this podcast.
to Elyse Daily at doofmedia.com.
Do I have an email address at Doof Media? Why not?
I mean, we could set up email addresses for all of us.
I don't have any of the cool things.
None of us have domain email addresses. None
Okay,
of us
that's
do.
fine. I don't need to monitor another email account.
You can email us at doofmedia@gmail.com, though, or follow us on Twitter at doofmedia, or follow us on Twitch, because I've been twitching some twitches. And that's what Elyse is twitching right now. It's very funny. It's twitch.com. No, twitch.tv/doofmedia.
I think you should better get that right before you just totally broadcast it out wrong or something.
I'm sorry. Hey, Elyse.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too. You should maybe go feed the dogs.
Do we feed them today?
Yes, I fed them
Okay.
today.
Oh, good.
That means Doof got no money from us.
I can't believe you did that.